Here are 30 most commonly asked scenario-based interview questions and detailed answers for SAP Basis interviews. 1. Scenario: the SAP system performance has degraded. How would you identify and address the performance issue? Answer: to identify performance issues, I would use tools like SAP, Early Watch Alert, and Street02 for buffer analysis. Analyzing transaction Street03 for workload statistics and checking skull traces using Street05 can help pinpoint the root cause. Solutions may include system tuning, optimizing database parameters, and implementing relevant SAP notes. 2. Scenario: a critical SAP system has encountered a database failure. What steps would you take to recover the system and minimize downtime? Answer: in the event of a database failure, I would first assess the severity and impact. If possible, I'd perform a controlled shutdown of the SAP system, address the database issue, and then restart the system. Regular backups and a well-defined disaster recovery plan are essential for minimizing downtime and ensuring data integrity. 3. Scenario: transport request failed during the import phase. How would you troubleshoot and resolve the transport issue? Answer: I would check the import log stems for error messages and review the transport directory L11 for the transport files. Analyzing the log Street22 for any runtime errors during the import and checking the transport buffer stems can help identify issues. If needed, I'd re-import the transport after addressing the identified problems. 4. Scenario: and SAP system has encountered a lock table overflow issue. How would you investigate and resolve this locking problem? Answer: I would use transaction SM12 to identify the locks and analyze the lock entries. If the lock table is overflowing, adjusting the lock table parameters via RZ11 may be necessary. Additionally, identifying long-running transactions using SM50 and addressing their performance can help alleviate locking issues. 5. Scenario: a user is unable to log in due to repeated unsuccessful attempts. How would you unlock the user and investigate the root cause of the login issue? Answer: I would use transaction SU01 to unlock the user and check the user's login attempts in SU01 or SUIM. Analyzing the system logs ZIM21 and security audit logs ZIM20 can help identify any issues with authentication or authorization. If necessary, adjusting user parameters and checking for expired passwords may be required. 6. Scenario: the SAP system has encountered a short dump Street22 due to a runtime error. How would you analyze and resolve the dump issue? Answer: I would review the short dump details in transaction Street22 to identify the runtime error. Analyzing the dump analysis Street22 and checking relevant SAP notes can provide insights into the root cause. Resolving the issue may involve adjusting configurations, implementing code corrections, or applying relevant SAP patches. 7. Scenario: and SAP system is running out of disk space. How would you identify the storage-consuming areas and free up space to avoid system disruptions? Answer: I would use transaction Street03N to analyze disk space consumption. Identifying large data files or logs and archiving unnecessary data can help free up space. Adjusting log retention periods, performing database reorganization, and adding additional storage capacity are potential solutions. 8. Scenario: a critical background job is stuck in the system. How would you identify the job causing the issue and resolve the job failure? Answer: I would use transaction SM37 to identify the stuck job and check the job log for error messages. Analyzing the job log ZIM37 and using transaction SM50 to identify any associated processes can help pinpoint the issue. Restarting or canceling the job and addressing any underlying issues can resolve the problem. 9. Scenario: the SAP system is experiencing Office remote function call communication issues with the connected system. How would you troubleshoot and resolve Office connection problems? Answer: I would use transaction SM59 to check OFFIC destinations and test the connection. Reviewing the OFFIC logs in transaction SM58 can provide details on failed connections. Verifying network connectivity, ensuring proper OFFIC configuration, and checking for firewall issues are crucial steps in resolving OFFIC communication problems. 10. Scenario: the SAP system needs to undergo a major version upgrade. How would you plan and execute the upgrade process to ensure a smooth transition? Answer: planning the upgrade involves reviewing system requirements, preparing a project plan, and performing a pre-upgrade assessment. I would use tools like SAP Maintenance Planner to determine required software components. Executing the upgrade would involve using tools like Software Update Manager SUM, performing system backups, and testing the upgrade in a sandbox environment before the production system. 11. Scenario: a critical SAP system needs to undergo routine maintenance activities. How would you ensure minimal disruption to ongoing business operations during the maintenance window? Answer: planning and communication are key. I would schedule maintenance during non-business hours, communicate with stakeholders about the planned downtime, and ensure a comprehensive backup is performed. Using tools like SAP Solution Manager for change management can help streamline the process and minimize disruptions. 12. Scenario: new SAP system needs to be added to an existing landscape. How would you approach the system, landscape design, and what considerations are important for seamless integration? Answer: I would consider factors such as system sizing, network connectivity, and landscape architecture. Determining the appropriate system roles development, quality assurance, production, and ensuring consistent transport routes and client copies are crucial for seamless integration. I'd use tools like SAP Landscape Transformation LT for landscape planning. 13. Scenario: a user reports issues with slow response times during SAP GUI interactions. How would you analyze and address the front-end performance issue? Answer: I would use transaction stat to analyze front-end response times and identify any delays. Checking the SAP GUI version, network connectivity, and system parameters can help address front-end performance issues. Adjusting GUI settings and, if necessary, upgrading the SAP GUI version may improve user experience. 14. Scenario: and SAP system is experiencing inconsistencies in transactional data. How would you identify and correct data inconsistencies to ensure data integrity? Answer: I would use tools like DBO2 for database analysis and SAP Early Watch Alert for proactive monitoring. Identifying inconsistencies in transactional data involves analyzing affected tables and records. Corrective measures may include data reconciliation, adjustments, and applying SAP corrections or patches. 15. Scenario: a critical background job is running for an extended duration, impacting system performance. How would you identify the long-running job and optimize its execution? Answer: I would use transaction SM37 to identify the long-running job and review the job log for insights. Analyzing the job's resource consumption using transaction STREET03N and optimizing the job parameters, such as parallel processing or batch size, can help improve job performance. Adjusting database parameters may also be necessary. 16. Scenario: and SAP system needs to integrate with a third-party application using web services. How would you configure and troubleshoot the integration to ensure seamless communication? Answer: configuring web services involves using Transaction SIC for service maintenance and SOA Manager for service administration. Testing the web service using Transaction CERT UTIL and analyzing logs SELG1 can help troubleshoot integration issues. Ensuring proper security settings and checking communication channels are important for seamless communication. 17. Scenario: the SAP system is facing issues related to spool overflow leading to print job failures. How would you identify and resolve spool-related problems to ensure smooth printing operations? Answer: I would use transaction SPO1 to check spool requests and analyze spool logs. Adjusting spool parameters using transaction SPAD and monitoring spool capacity can help prevent spool overflow. Configuring print servers, optimizing spool distribution, and ensuring proper printer setup are crucial for smooth printing operations. 18. Scenario: a new SAP kernel patch needs to be applied to the system. How would you plan and execute the kernel upgrade to ensure system stability? Answer: planning involves reviewing SAP notes, checking kernel compatibility, and creating a rollback strategy. I would use tools like Software Update Manager SUM for the upgrade. Performing a test upgrade in a sandbox system, scheduling the upgrade during low-impact hours, and monitoring the upgrade process are essential steps for ensuring system stability. 19. Scenario: and SAP system is facing issues with inconsistent data backups. How would you troubleshoot and optimize the backup process to ensure data integrity and reliable restore operations? Answer: I would use transaction DB13 to check backup logs and identify any errors. Analyzing backup strategies, ensuring proper storage allocation, and scheduling regular test restores can help troubleshoot backup issues. Implementing SAP recommendations for backup configurations and monitoring backup performance are crucial for maintaining data integrity. 20. Scenario: the SAP system is experiencing frequent dumps related to memory issues. How would you analyze and optimize memory utilization to prevent dump occurrences? Answer: I would use transaction STREET02 to analyze memory utilization and identify memory-intensive processes. Adjusting SAP memory parameters in transaction RZ10 and analyzing dump details in STREET22 can provide insights. Optimizing abap code, tuning work processes, and implementing SAP recommendations for memory management are key steps in preventing memory-related dumps. 21. Scenario: a new SAP instance needs to be added to an existing SAP system. How would you approach the instance creation and configuration process, ensuring proper integration with the existing landscape? Answer: I would use transaction RZ04 to create the new instance and ensure consistent instance profiles. Configuring the instance parameters, ensuring proper OFFIC connections, and updating the transport routes are crucial for integration. Performing a thorough system check and validating the new instance's connectivity with existing components is essential before making it operational. 22. Scenario: the SAP system is facing issues with inconsistent IDOC processing. How would you troubleshoot and optimize IDOC processing to ensure reliable communication with external systems? Answer: I would use transaction WE02 to check IDOC statuses and analyze IDOC error messages. Troubleshooting involves identifying the root cause of IDOC failures, addressing communication issues, and ensuring proper configuration in partner profiles. WE20. Implementing monitoring tools like AIL or IDOC monitoring transaction IDX5. And adjusting processing parameters can optimize IDOC processing. 23. Scenario: a critical custom program is not behaving as expected, leading to incorrect results. How would you analyze and debug the abap code to identify and correct the programming issue? Answer: I would use tools like transaction SAE80 to navigate to the abap program and transaction STREET22 to check for runtime errors. Debugging involves setting breakpoints in the code using transaction SAE37 or SAE41 and stepping through the program to identify the issue. Analyzing variable values, checking data structures, and correcting coding errors can resolve the problem. 24. Scenario: the SAP system is facing issues with OFFIC communication between systems in a distributed landscape. How would you troubleshoot and optimize OFFIC connections to ensure reliable communication? Answer: I would use transaction SM59 to check OFFIC destinations and analyze AFC logs in transaction SM58 for failed connections. Troubleshooting involves checking network connectivity, ensuring AFC destination configurations are correct, and analyzing error messages. Implementing load balancing for AFC connections and optimizing network parameters can enhance communication reliability. 25. Scenario: the SAP system is experiencing high CPU utilization. How would you identify the processes causing the high CPU usage and optimize system performance? Answer: I would use transaction Street 06 to analyze CPU utilization and identify high-consuming processes using transaction SM50. Analyzing work processes, identifying resource-intensive jobs, and optimizing abap code are crucial for reducing CPU usage. Adjusting SAP parameters, such as the number of dialog processes, and implementing relevant SAP notes can help optimize system performance. 26. Scenario: a critical SAP system needs to undergo a system copy for creating a sandbox environment. How would you plan and execute the system copy process to ensure a consistent and reliable system replica? Answer: planning involves reviewing prerequisites, performing a pre-check using tools like transaction R3trans, and ensuring proper backups. I would use tools like Software Provisioning Manager SUPM for the system copy. Executing the copy involves transporting data, adjusting profiles, and post-copy steps, followed by thorough testing in the sandbox environment to ensure consistency. 27. Scenario: the SAP system is facing issues with spool overflow during mass printing operations. How would you optimize spool processing to handle large print volumes efficiently? Answer: I would use transaction SPAD to adjust spool parameters and increase spool capacity. Optimizing spool processing involves configuring output devices, adjusting spool retention periods, and monitoring spool usage. Implementing load balancing for print servers and ensuring proper printer configurations can improve spool processing efficiency. 28. Scenario: a critical SAP system is not accessible due to network connectivity issues. How would you troubleshoot and resolve network-related problems to restore system availability? Answer: troubleshooting involves checking network configurations using transaction SM59 and analyzing network logs. Ensuring proper DNS resolution, checking firewall settings, and collaborating with network administrators are crucial steps. Implementing network monitoring tools and conducting periodic network tests can help proactively identify and resolve connectivity issues. 29. Scenario: a background job is running with high priority, impacting the performance of other jobs. How would you adjust the job scheduling and priority to ensure fair resource distribution in the SAP system? Answer: I would use transaction SM37 to identify the high priority job and adjust its priority using transaction SM36. Analyzing job scheduling parameters in transaction SM62 and optimizing job priorities can help ensure fair resource distribution. Monitoring system workload using transaction Street 03N and adjusting background job parameters can further optimize job scheduling. 30. Scenario: the SAP system is facing issues with inconsistent data updates in the database. How would you analyze and optimize database performance to ensure reliable data transactions? Answer: I would use tools like Transaction DB02 to analyze database performance and identify problematic areas. Optimizing database performance involves adjusting database parameters using transaction RZ10. Monitoring SQL statements using transaction Street 04, and ensuring proper index configurations. Implementing database-specific recommendations and collaborating with database administrators can enhance overall database performance. These scenario-based questions cover a range of SAP basis topics and real-world situations. Interviewers may adapt questions based on the candidate's experience and the organization's specific requirements. For more exciting tips, tricks and more importantly, for valuable insights of interviews, please share, like, and subscribe to my channel. It has a lot of valuable information about various insights of interviews. It has a wide range of real-world portfolio projects of various technologies for interviews, and it has wide range of most asked interview questions and answers of various technologies like data science, SAP, AWS, DevOps, and full-stack web development, and more. That will be useful during interviews. It has a wide range of most asked interview questions and answers, and real-world portfolio projects of various technologies for freshers. For 2 to 3 years, experienced candidates, and for 5 or above years, experienced candidates to test their skills by knowing most asked interview questions and make themselves ready for interviews.